Hello, flat earth researchers, debaters and debunkers. You see, the thing is with the whole heliocentric model and the way standard time has been introduced as an artificial, man-made, human-made global construct for global trade, globalization, and that we've been given the impression this is our physical reality, is what's keeping us trapped in this global mindset. But more importantly than that, the reason that challenging the heliocentric model and the globe is such a contentious issue is because it appears to answer the most fundamental and most important question, or questions that any of us can ever come to ask about the meaning of our life, our individual existence. You see, this artificial timeline of a Big Bang over whatever, it doesn't matter how long, billions of years, countless years, but it appears to have a beginning and some kind of ultimate end, but it appears to answer the biggest question of not only when we are in this, at what point we are in this timeline of the existence of the universe that we're in, but also the where. It appears to answer the when and the where we are. We're told how we've evolved to this point through a singular timeline. In that respect, it does have a linear kind of idea, concept. But of course, time is kind of cyclical in nature, and as I explained in my last video, this completely rounding it off with a circle geometry, 360 degrees, allows this international, worldwide construct of time for commerce and trade. That is its purpose. The only purpose of a 24-hour clock for the world, for where we live, is for trade, for schedules, for business, for making money. Another artificial construct. It is totally artificial. The whole thing, the heliocentric model, the spinning globe, because it's a calendar. The calendar is based on having the sun at the center, so that the attempt has been made to say that the sun at the center is our physical reality as well. But they've used circles to geometry to dictate this time, which doesn't entirely match our reality or what we see the sun doing. So they're trying to stick the sun at the center and have this heliocentric calendar and a physical heliocentric model to say that is your reality, but it doesn't fit anyway. Because that's why we have leap years, and then of course you've got sidereal days, which is to do with the stars, and so you end up with all these different calendars. But a lunar calendar, for example, doesn't have a beginning or an end. It's just this monthly cycle. divided into 28 days. Yeah? But this 24-hour cycle is an illustration of the passage of time, which they've tried to attach it to the sun, but of course it doesn't really fit either. Hence all these different ways of interpreting the passage of time, telling the time. But of course it's this 24-hour time construct that has been, with the 12 months, yeah, etc. The months were added on whims of various global leaders, all in attempts to, the months were taken away and put back. July, Julius Caesar, Augustus, I can't remember the surname, Augustus. These are months named after the people that wanted to put them in there, yeah, for their attempts at contribution to creating this global time construct, which has with the leaders, the elite, the traders have attempted to manifest as a physical reality to have us all in their world of trade and us as human resources. Yeah, where that's just a mindset, a construct that has been artificially created, when our reality can be something very, very different on this earth as people following Earth time or following our own individual times, because we each experience time in a unique way. Yes, there are seasons to do with the sun and where the sun is, and that can be explained over the flat earth. Yeah. Yeah. So that it is the matrix, the artificial construct, purely for trade, in which we are workers. Yeah. Of course, the navigation as well it uses seconds and minutes. It's simply because divisions of 12 and 60 are easy to fit into a circle. Geometry. So this geometry ends up ruling the world, literally, the commerce and the timekeeping. Yeah. A day isn't 24 hours. You get 1 day of sun a year. That is 12. Sorry, yeah, one day of daylight, 1 day a year of daylight. That is 12 hours of daylight. But even the fact that we call it 12 hours, what does that mean? It means we've divided that time up into units of 12 and 60, yeah? To have it allow us to make a circle, adhere to the geometry. But of course, the sun's path isn't geometric anyway. The analemma, this figure of 8, this infinity-like symbol that is created if you watch the sun. Noon for anyone anywhere should be when the sun is at its zenith. But it's not, is it? Sometimes, the solar noon for somewhere like in the UK can be somewhere around 1:30 in the afternoon, more towards 2 o'clock. It's their solar noon. But they still have midday. So midday is an hour and a half before it is actually in midday for them there. So even that alone just tells us that the heliocentric model and the time construct created around it is literally not a reality. hence we have the time zones. The time zones, I just learned recently, came about in the late 1800s, I believe. And so standard time was created. One of the problems before then was, for example, people catching trains, and different locations, departure points and arrival points for the trains were on different time zones. So people would have to look at many different clocks, or kind of do lots of mathematics to work out what time their train was going to arrive in a destination that was in a different time zone to where the train had left from. Yeah? So standard time was created to facilitate these schedules, which are very much based on trade. Yeah? That's all it is. Yeah? Earth time and our time, our individual time on this earth is not dictated by a 24-hour clock. Well, it is, that's the thing, it is, that's the problem. Our lives are dictated by this, but they shouldn't be. That's artificial. Yeah? We're of this earth, and if we allow it to be so, our lives as individuals and as a collective can be led and go according to the earth time, nature's time. Sometimes people say, oh, spring's come early this year, or oh, it's a longer winter than usual, or whatever. Well, of course, what's happening is you're sticking to these 12 months and the weeks, or the 4 weeks, and everything. And so, of course, nature's nature's just doing its thing. The sun does its thing, the stars do their thing, and the moon does its thing. Yeah, the moon keeps its time. It's an individual part of the mechanism. Yeah, going over us once a day. Yeah. 28 days, regular. That's the clock that most other cultures follow, the moon. And then then all their festivals and things and seasonal activities, harvesting, planting, whatever, retreating, are all still on time every year, because they are going by the time that the moon tells. So, of course, a full moon really should be on the same date each month. Should be on the 1st or the 28th, yeah, of each month, and then you get a new month. Yeah, but what happens is we've got these extra months to try and squeeze it all into this heliocentric idea, and the 360 degrees and the 365 days of the year, and of course you get leap years. I mean, how can you... You're born on a leap year, the 29th of February, and then of course the funny thing is, the joke is that by the time you're a certain age, in what would be the years that other people count, you're still far, far behind. 4 years for every 1 year. You get 1 year for every 4 years that passes. But of course, that's just, that's what's so silly about it. It's not real. Time passes, you get older. You don't physically stay young if you're born in a leap year. Yeah? Anyway, my eyes are baggy because I've been up all night. It's just sunrise. And I wanted to share my thoughts while the cats fought. Yeah? It's all about keeping time and keeping us in time with the global commercial construct. Thank you very much.